Your day and stay safe. From KCRG TV9, this is First Alert Weather Now.
Good evening. Welcome to the Thursday evening edition of First Alert Weather Now. I'm meteorologist Thompson.
I'm meteorologist Rickman.
And it has been another fairly quiet weather day around eastern Iowa, but things are changing as we head into the weekend. We've actually got something to point to on the weather map for once.
Absolutely, yeah. It changes a little bit tonight, and like you mentioned this weekend, mild, but something that folks are going to want to keep an eye on for travel and for outdoor activities as well.
For sure. And we've got more information on those activities and your forecast for fun. We're going to check out some of the big weather stories around the country, including the California wildfires and a snowstorm that's staying to our south. First, what do you need to know as we step outside this evening? Involves, well, pretty quiet weather continuing. We're going to keep just a little bit of a chance for some flurries or snow showers in your picture tonight. Not going to be a huge disruption with this system, but the possibility that you'll either see a little bit of snow or potentially encounter a very isolated slick spot on your Friday morning commute, but those will be extremely limited. Otherwise, fairly steady temperatures of more mild nature, as AJ said, through the weekend, keeping those just on the slightly warmer than normal side to kick off that set of days. But then we've got another opportunity for snow on Sunday. This time it could actually stick a little bit. Again, not expecting heavy stuff anytime soon here in eastern Iowa. Cedar Rapids City Cam shows a picture of a partly to mostly cloudy sky. There are more clouds moving in. Temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s, though Dubuque, where the sky is clearest, already down to 23 degrees, and winds generally staying out of the south. Enough of a breeze to push our wind chills down the teens and 20s, so certainly a chilly one as you head out this evening. But as this cold front approaches the area, cold used loosely here, some of those snow showers may develop, which AJ will have more detail about in just a little bit. Your planner does indicate that possibility overnight in particular, as lows head for the low 20s primarily during those nighttime hours. A little chilly, but not as cold for tomorrow morning. That's the side benefit of these clouds.
Absolutely, and with us having dealt with a lot of nights of wind chills below zero, tomorrow morning 20s are going to feel kind of nice.
Yeah, indeed, and there will be some nice activities going on around eastern Iowa as we head into the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Joe Winters here with your forecast for fun.
Early January, weather really has been fairly tranquil, giving you a chance to get outside and enjoy some activities. Let's take a look at your forecast for fun. Friday morning, a few flurries. That's possible on your morning walk. Later in the day, it looks quiet, but the northwest wind is with us. Overall temperatures through the weekend moderate, close to 30 degrees. Saturday, not a bad day. Sunday, though, could again be some scattered snow showers across the area. Our Cedar Rapids Rough Riders are in town on Friday night, taking on Sioux City. Puck drop is at 7:05. 30 degrees by Friday evening. I think just some cloudy skies. And then Iowa men's basketball on Saturday at Iowa, Indiana in town. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. It's a blackout game. Should see about 30 degrees or so as we head toward game time. Also the Iowa women, they're in town against Indiana as well. This is on Sunday. That's the one you may want to watch. There could be some scattered snow showers with some slick conditions, especially if you're traveling to the game. Tip-off at 2 p.m. and that's a gold-out game. So again, we do have a lot of activity going on. Holiday countdown, if you're counting with us. Valentine's Day, 36 days away. Fun for St. Patrick's Day, 67. Easter's 101 days away. And Mother's Day comes up in 122 days. Obviously warmer as we approach that. But as we head through January and February, it's cold, and that's why we'll give you always your forecast for fun.
Tonight, President Joe Biden is promising more help from the federal government in response to the deadly wildfires in Southern California.
At least 5 fires are burning out of control, destroyed thousands of acres in the Los Angeles area. And unfortunately, at least 5 people are now dead and more than 100,000 people are under mandatory evacuations. ABC's Alex Stone reports on the challenges firefighters face battling the flames.
Almost unimaginable scenes in Los Angeles. KBC's Chopper giving us a gut-wrenching view of the devastation from multiple fires burning in Southern California.
Really never seen any destruction like this before. Everything is gone.
Block after block of homes destroyed in Pacific Palisades, heavy smoke lingering in the air. Filmmaker John Turtletaub lives in Malibu.
Pacific Palisades right now could just be taken off the map. There is no Pacific Palisades.
At least 5 people are confirmed dead, but the sheriff says he fears that number will go up.
At one point, we'll be able to do a more thorough search of these impacted areas. Some of them look like a bomb was dropped in them, where we will be able to bring in canines and other things to help us.
Fierce winds fueling the inferno, easing enough for planes to fly, picking up water from the ocean, dropping it on the fire. but those winds are forecasted to pick up. Over 180,000 people under evacuation orders. Many are staying in hotels.
Just a really solemn environment. A lot of people lost their homes, a lot of people waiting to find out if they've lost their homes, and just everyone really mourning and trying to figure out what all of our next steps are.
These heartbreaking pictures show the before and after. Entire neighborhoods leveled from the Palisades to Altadena. Amidst the devastation, neighbors helping neighbors.
I mean, I don't even know most of them, and they're just, posting and out of the kindness of their hearts, they're helping, and it means so much to us.
The smoke and the ash that is in the air here is very strong. That's why officials are telling seniors or anybody with breathing problems around Los Angeles to stay indoors. Alex Stone, ABC News, Altadena, California.
Now, your First Alert forecast with meteorologist AJ Rickman.
And like we mentioned earlier, our weather here in eastern Iowa is fairly mild tonight compared to where we should be or could be at this time of year. We're looking at 27 in Cedar Rapids, 23 like we mentioned is your cool spot in Dubuque, and those winds are out of the south helping to funnel in some of that mild air and a little bit of moisture, and that moisture will eventually turn into cloud cover and then some snow as we head through the overnight hours of tonight and into the start of your day on Friday. Now the snow does fairly quickly move out. By the time we get to Friday afternoon, we are keeping things mostly cloudy and returning to quiet conditions. Have a look at our satellite and radar. You can see that snow starting to work its way into some of our far northwestern counties. We'll continue to watch over the next couple of hours as some of that light snowfall does work its way across eastern Iowa. Pinpoint Futurecast does show that working its way through by the time we get to 7 o'clock. As we get towards the 10 o'clock hour, it is going to be fairly light and scattered, the snow that does work its way across the area, so not everybody will see snow, but the places that do are going to want to watch through the overnight hours and into the early part of Friday morning for a few slick spots on those roadways where some of those snow showers do fall and potentially cause some very light accumulations up to perhaps a trace to a dusting. As we get into Friday morning, 6 o'clock, it's continuing to move through into some of our southern and eastern areas, moving out of our area off to the east by the time we get to 8 a.m. And the rest of your day for Friday is quiet, and we are keeping things mostly cloudy, maybe a few stray flurries as we go through the afternoon, but that would be the exception rather than the norm for what you could expect. And by the time we get to Friday night, 11 p.m., we're starting to see skies clear, and we'll see things transition from mostly cloudy to partly cloudy and ultimately to mostly clear for a period of time. Overnight tonight, that cloud cover and snow showers are going to help keep us a little bit milder. Lows fall to 20 across the board. Your cool spot is Dubuque sitting at 18, 23 in Iowa City, 26 in Oskaloosa is going to be your warm spot. And then tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures close to 30 degrees for the high, relatively close to our average high of 27, 29 in Fayette, 30 in Cedar Rapids, 31 over in Mount Pleasant. So we have a sneak peek at the weekend as that is coming up. Saturday, we're looking at more clouds than sun. We are going to be seeing warmer than average conditions thanks to southerly winds that will be continuing for us as we go through the day. Sunday is when we're watching for our next chance of snow, however. Temperatures are still going to be mild and we're going to be cloudy through the day. With this chance for snow moving through, we are going to be looking at the potential for some light accumulations. We are still a couple of days out and a little far away from knowing exact amounts with this system. However, as we approach that time frame, we'll have more details with timing, amounts, and impacts. But a general look at it and the general setup we're going to be watching for is a clipper system that will be moving through the Midwest and across Iowa. As it does so, by the time we get to early Sunday morning, we're watching for some snow showers to be moving into the area. Those continue as we get into Sunday, but this system moves by fairly quickly. By the time we get to Sunday at 1 p.m., we're going to be looking at snow starting to move out. By the time we get to Sunday evening, we're going to be returning to fairly dry conditions. And once that system does move out of our area and we continue into the later half of January, we'll be cold for a while. We'll have some more details on that coming up in your next 9. Looking beyond the 9-day forecast, however, temperature outlook for the middle of January, things are staying cold. So if you like cold weather, you're in luck. If you're hoping for warmer days, you just got to hang in there. They'll get here eventually as we get into spring.
Yeah, it does look like that, but it also does feel like it's pretty far away.
It is. At this point, still, I mean, not going to silver line that one.
With people.
Yeah, just got to be honest about it. So it'll get here eventually.
Indeed. Let's think about spring-like thoughts, thinking ahead a little bit. Justin Roberts here with this week's edition of the Grower's Guide.
It is time once again for our Grower's Guide, where we talk about some of the cooler weather. And let's go take a look at some of the graphics as we move our way through this cold month. Usually it's the snowiest month for us as well. Let's begin with the broad brush and what we can expect from Mother Nature. As you can see some of these numbers, and we'll take them full screen for you. Our average high 26 degrees, our average low 15. Notice we're a little bit above normal on our average lows, despite having some of this cooler weather. Precipitation, yeah, a little bit above normal as well thus far. But believe it or not, as we take a look day by day, our temperatures have been on the milder side, even though it doesn't feel like it this last stretch with teens and 20s. We're going to start turning that around the next couple of days. Low temperatures over the last few, you can see as low as 1 on the 4th. 1 yesterday morning. We got as low as 4 this morning on this Thursday. Peak wind gusts. It has been kind of a breezy month for us. We started New Year's Day, 37-mile-an-hour winds, 16-mile-an-hour winds by the day yesterday. Those winds today out of the south at 10 to 20, as we've been seeing. Precipitation, we have been dry too. 0.06 of an inch, little bits of snow. We will add to that this evening with a chance of some light snow. This is normally a snowy month for us, friends. We have gotten barely a thing. Normally we should see over 8.5 inches of snow, and as we take a look at the drought conditions and the averages, we see normal highs in the 20s. They don't really move too much with that precipitation on the average below. Drought monitor last week showed you the dry conditions across the TV9 viewing area. Let's get you the latest data this week. No big changes. In fact, wouldn't be surprised if we start adding some more dry areas, even from the dry to the moderate category around northeast Iowa and back towards the southeast. As always, you can find the context and more deeper details on our Grower's Guide at kcrg.com. Send it back to you.
Well, a large portion of the country is bracing for another winter storm. Let's look at the snow moving into the Dallas area earlier today. Obviously not something that they are used to all the time there. And then, of course, we also saw it move nearby into the Oklahoma City area. This truck obviously having a little bit of trouble with the snowy roads there. Storm could mean power outages, slick roads, as well as delayed and canceled flights along its path. It comes just after a separate storm tracked across a good portion of this same sort of area of the country just a handful of days ago. Here's a wide view of our satellite, or just our radar picture, pinpoint Doppler radar, showing plenty of moisture streaming into the storm system. And as it gets into the colder air, it changes from rain to snow. That line right around the Dallas area into southern Arkansas. Been seeing that snow in Oklahoma throughout portions of the day, measured in inches there. Obviously, for folks that don't get to see it there very often, they're pretty delighted by that. Arkansas, probably the area that's going to see some of the heavier snow as we head over the next few hours. Pinpoint Futurecast showing some of those darker blues across central and northern Arkansas, but the southern portion of the state will be seeing that rain. Rain and a few storms off toward the Gulf Coast. The snow on the north side, Kentucky, Tennessee, into North Carolina and Virginia, all in the path of this storm. As it heads out to sea, though, by early Saturday morning, things will tend to calm down. But the snowfall potential is over a pretty wide area. And again, that heaviest band stretching from central Arkansas into central Tennessee, where many areas are expecting over 6 inches of snow. Not the biggest snowstorm they've ever seen in that portion of the country, but certainly something that will cause a lot of trouble as it moves through.
And like Corey mentioned, that's an area of the country that really isn't used to getting a whole lot of snow. By contrast, our part of the country that is used to seeing snow isn't really seeing a whole lot. We do have a slight chance for Thursday night into Friday morning for a few light snow showers that could create a few isolated slick spots where that snow does fall onto some roadways. We're dry for Saturday, and then Sunday another chance. But in the meantime, we are going to be dealing, as these systems come through, with a variety of winds. We're going to be out of the northwest on Friday, south on Saturday, back to the west and northwest as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And with those changing winds, a lot of times you get changing temperatures. Now, we're going to keep things fairly consistent as we go through the end of the week and into the weekend. But then, by the time we get to next week, we do start to see that fall in our temperatures. Monday, we're looking at highs right around 17, and we're going to see some temperature swings over the next couple of days. We'll be above average for a little while, below average, and then back to above average. Ultimately, however, we will be seeing our temperatures overall, rather, trending close to average. And then as we have a look out towards the very end of our 9-day, again, with the up and down temperature swings we're looking at, we're going to be watching for highs approaching or perhaps exceeding freezing by the time we get to the end of the week and into not this weekend, but the following weekend. Of course, in the meantime, we're keeping things dry once we get past this weekend, still watching for that big snow event. We've had other parts of the country getting impacted. I'm sure that for us, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it'll be someday, probably. I mean, there have been some lacking of snow type winters, but the most recent one I could find was a little bit earlier last decade, with still over 12.5 inches of snow for the season. Right now we're at just over 3 to 4, depends on exactly where you're at in eastern Iowa. So, you know, we got some room to grow for sure.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure we'll get it in time. We just got to wait for it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that we'll be seeing Little Rock, Arkansas probably with more snow in their season to date than we will after tonight.
Yes, that is very bizarre when you really think about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to think about it too hard. And we'll give you a break here until tomorrow evening with our Friday evening edition of First Alert Weather Now. Thanks for joining us this evening and have a great night.